Aloha, Monroe Murdoch with Love Hawaii Realty and Love Hawaii Villas with today's Hawaii travel, tourism, and vacation planning update. It's been about a week since the last video. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, and there's definitely some exciting news to share today, so I wanted to put this video together as quickly as I possibly could just to get it out there so that anyone with an interest in traveling to Hawaii has the latest information and you can make decisions based off of this. As always, please do remember to like and subscribe. Please share the video with anyone else who is interested in Hawaii travel, and you can reference the link in the description of the video to access articles that I will link to and more information in case you want to dive in deeper. So without further ado, I'll be referring to some of my notes here as we jump into this week's update. What is the current status of COVID-19 in Hawaii? There were 16 new cases reported today. There has been a little bit of an uptick in new cases this past week or so. It's not anything that's alarming officials, and people here locally are continuing to practice wearing masks, social distancing, and doing things to help prevent the spread of the virus. So Hawaii is still one of the safest places in the country, definitely making it a desirable destination for travelers who want to come and experience what the islands have to offer. What is the latest on visitor travel? The 14-day mandatory quarantine does remain in effect through July 31st. That applies to all out-of-state visitors and any returning residents. It's a very strict quarantine, so our recommendation would be that if you don't need to come to Hawaii, don't come because it's not going to be fun to quarantine. Inter-island travel for Hawaii residents was resumed on June 16th, meaning the quarantine was lifted for inter-island travelers. And that has been going pretty well from everything that we've been able to see. That has not been leading to a huge increase in cases. While there has been a slight uptick, we're seeing inter-island travel is working well. It's giving them a chance to really test the lifting of a quarantine and how that's going to work. Now, as you know, we've been waiting for weeks and weeks, literally months, for a game plan, a specific date to target the reopening of Hawaii for visitor travel. And that breaking moment came today. We knew it was coming. We got sort of word of something coming down the line last week, Thursday, I think it was. We were expecting an update on Friday. Never happened. And then we got word of an important big news conference this afternoon, 2:30 this afternoon, Hawaii time. We had a big news conference. And so this is literally what we've been waiting for. There was a big press conference, we'll call it of unprecedented proportions, from the standpoint that all who were in attendance and represented at the news conference, you had the governor, lieutenant governor, representatives from the Department of Health, the Department of Transportation, county mayors, you had elected officials from the State House and the Senate, and many more. So this was a collaborative effort. This has literally been weeks and months in the making as far as what they're trying to do and roll out. So at the moment you've been waiting for, the big announcement is that effective August 1st, 2020 is the day that out-of-state visitors can test out of the quarantine, essentially. The idea is that you could do a pre-test, a test negative prior to coming to Hawaii, likely to be 72 hours prior to arrival. And this is huge news, as Hawaii has been under this very strict quarantine for weeks and months now, and cases are low, infection rates are low, and we do need to keep Hawaii safe. Keep in mind, this is just coming out today. This is just breaking news. We don't have all of the answers. We have this information, and there have been some questions and answers done at the end of the press conference, which you can refer to. I'm not going to get into all of those details right now. More updates and details about this will be coming out in the coming weeks, because we are still a good 5 weeks away or so from August 1st. So naturally, we have time to prepare, to figure out how is this going to work, but at least we know that this is the plan and this is what is being rolled out right now and continuously being worked on by Hawaii's officials. This is great news in that many people have been desirous to come to Hawaii. Many people were planning to come to Hawaii for many months now and have had to cancel or postpone or change their trips over and over and over again. Now it looks like there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There's an opportunity here. As long as you can get that negative test and work through that, then that can work out well. So what we're expecting here is you'll need to test negative within 72 hours prior to arrival is the expectation, similar to what they've been doing in Alaska. And Hawaii does plan to have business-to-business partners, B2B, likely through CVS, maybe some other private sector companies who can work a relationship or a contract with the state of Hawaii, allowing people that are planning on coming to Hawaii to schedule a test or reserve a test and get that done prior to arrival. And then the state will have a way of validating those tests and making sure that those coming with negative tests are able to be come and enjoy their time here in Hawaii. Now keep in mind, anyone coming to Hawaii after August 1st that has not tested negative with the COVID test will still be subject to the 14-day mandatory quarantine. So essentially, this update today also extends the existence of a 14-day quarantine. Now, that is going to be in place until they can lift that without testing. So naturally, if you don't want to quarantine, you would need to test negative. If you're unwilling to do that, you would be subject to the quarantine. So in essence, the quarantine of 14 days in Hawaii for all out-of-state visitors is essentially extended indefinitely, though there will reach some point in time when that can be lifted and that can be done away with. However, for the time being, it's there. So you can just know that even though it was originally through July 31st, it's now extended indefinitely until they can figure out another plan otherwise. Naturally, if you want to come here on vacation, you'll be testing out, you'll be figuring out what you need to do to test out. Does this apply to little kids and infants and all that? We don't know all these details. That will be coming, but we expect that anyone who can safely be tested would likely be expected to be tested and need to be negative in order to not be subject to the quarantine. So with all that said, there are a number of highly important things, in my opinion, that I think everyone needs to be aware of and take into consideration when you're planning to travel to Hawaii, and just to be keeping in your mind, as this is really big news for Hawaii travel, and it will be changing the landscape of Hawaii travel, airfare, accommodations, and all of the like. First and foremost, I would say book your flights, hotels, and accommodations as soon as possible, just because it's the simple factors of supply and demand. Now that we know that effective August 1st, people will be able to start coming back to Hawaii, we can safely assume that prices of these different options of flights and accommodations will start going up as demand goes up. And so the sooner you can get on it, the better. I would say go ahead and plan that travel. Anyone who wants to jump on it, get to Hawaii, who's brave to be the guinea pigs, if you will, and jump on it, then anytime after August 1st should be free game to do that. Our company is offering a special discount to anyone who chooses legal short-term vacation rental accommodations and who wants to stay in August. We'll be offering a special discount for that. If anyone's interested in that, they can reach out directly to our Director of Reservations, Amber Schoenberg, by email at stay@lovehawaiivillas.com, or by phone at 844-577-8800 extension 1. That's 844-577-880 extension 1. And we have a special deal for August travelers. Also, keep in mind, you want to keep up to date with the testing options and partners. What are the options out there? What are the things that you're available to do? More will be coming on that. There will be options. They will likely accept from a variety of sources, but they'll probably be setting up some partners too, likely CVS, because they've been talking a lot about that. Next, bring your masks and be prepared to wear your masks on the flight, and also when you're here, going to stores, going to restaurants, when you're out and about in public. Please bring your mask and be prepared to wear it. We want you to respect the local request and hear locally that we are doing our best to keep Hawaii safe. Part of that is the wearing of masks. And whether or not, wherever you stand on the issues, you might think that masks don't matter. You might think that masks are super important. It doesn't really matter where you stand. This is simply a matter of respect for the locals here in Hawaii, keeping Hawaii safe and not causing issues. We don't want to have issues with visitors coming to Hawaii and trying to, out of a political statement or some other matter, not wear their mask and defy the request to wear a mask. That will only cause issues for Hawaii travel and will likely lead, could potentially lead to some confrontations too from those locally who may feel put at risk by those not wearing masks. Now, with that said, keep in mind, we're talking about out in the stores, when you're going to restaurants. Once you're sitting down at a table, you can take the mask off. Once you're you're at a beach, or you're hanging out, or you're swimming in the ocean, you don't need to wear a mask while you're hanging out at the beach. You don't need to wear it while you're in the ocean and things like that, of course. If there's no one else around, you don't really need to wear it. But when you're out in public, when you're out shopping, when you're in the stores, when you're waiting in a restaurant, those kind of things, those are all precautions where masks will be expected when you're checking in or out of a hotel, or your vacation rentals if you're staying in like one of our properties. Just wanted to mention that because it is kind of a point of issue and question and concern. I think people need to be prepared for that. There is some community spread here in Hawaii at a small scale, so just keep that in mind. It's just good to practice the social distancing and the wearing of masks and the natural practices that we've all been preached about in recent weeks. Please do not try to come to Hawaii if you're not going to test out. You will be subject to that quarantine we talked about. Now, keep in mind that even if you do test negative, if you show up at the airport with a temperature above 100.4 degrees and or are demonstrating COVID-like symptoms, you may be subject to additional screening. So it is important. They will be likely doing some temperature screening and other things. More information on that to come, but the best protocol is to be feeling good, not be having any symptoms, not be having a fever, have the negative test. You should be good to go. What is everything else like here in the islands? Everything is still good in terms of, the weather's great. It is summer, and more and more businesses are opening up, more and more restaurants are opening up for dining. Naturally, many are reliant on the tourism travel. So come August, I'm sure we'll see a lot more opening up, a lot more possibilities there. Many more updates likely to happen in the coming weeks. Now that this is going to start unfolding, we might even need to do multiple updates a week depending on what they're bringing out there. So with that, we'll just close up the video for today. I just want to share the breaking news update. I'll probably do some other updates soon once we have more information. Thank you again for watching the video. Please like if you found the information helpful. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and also share the video with anyone else who might want this information. You can reference the link in the description for more details. And thanks again so much for watching. Feel free to comment, ask any questions. We'll be happy to engage in the comments below like we always do. And be safe out there, and we look forward to hopefully seeing all of you in Hawaii very soon. Aloha, and have a great day.